Hello, everyone, and welcome to your reading for the first 2 weeks of July 2025. My name is Christy, and I am unbelievably excited to be back after a 4-month hiatus. And, sometimes you got to take a break, okay? So one cannot fill from an empty cup, and I experienced some significant tower moments over the last few months, but I am so happy to report that I am on the other side and many lessons have been learned. And one of the coolest things about the whole experience was that my faith in spirit and my relationship, I never questioned it a single time. And isn't that like such a wonderful thing? So this is a general reading, so it will resonate with some and not with others. I do hope you will stay with me for the ride. However, if you are looking for a more specific reading based on your human design energy type, please just go to my YouTube channel, which is Tarot in HD. They are all posted there and will be on the 1st and 15th of every month moving forward. Alrighty. If you get, I would be so grateful if you would share this reading with others, other human design types. We are a small but mighty and growing group in the esoteric kind of woo-woo space. And I really thrive when I meet other people who are aligned with human design as well. So I'd love it if you shared it. That would be absolutely incredible and very appreciated. All right, without further ado, let's get to the reading. I am going to start with a messages from the mermaids card. I am taking my kayak out for her maiden voyage today, and we'll see what we find in the water. Then followed by a Work Your Light Oracle card. Now, the light has been something that I have continuously turned towards in the last few months, even when things seemed really dark and really dense, and it's something that kept me going. Now, I am a light worker, and so it's natural for me, but it is something that we still have to work at, right? Like turning towards the light is still something that many of us have to work at, because in our spirit, having a human experience, we have many lessons to learn, and we can't learn them without some challenges. All right, then I'm going to be using the Modern Witch Tarot. I feel very aligned with my feminine energy right now, and so that's the one that I was drawn to it the most. And last but not least, I will close out our reading with a postcard from Spirit, which have been beautiful messages to round off all of our readings today. Okay, let's get going. Angels, ancestors, ascended masters, friends, family, fairies, God, spirit, guides, and the universe with all around me and within me, please assist me in doing a general reading for everybody, all human design energy types for the next 2 weeks. What do we all need to know? And let's just get going. Here we go. So we have feelings. Okay, so we all have feelings, don't we? And one of the things that's very important to remember about feelings is that they are messengers, okay? They always have a purpose. It is a way of our consciousness, either our body's consciousness, our spiritual consciousness, the overarching consciousness of showing you that there is something going on, okay? Now, feelings we tend to think about them and again, this card, even the colors in it are kind of drawn to that kind of darker, that kind of deeper, right? So, I mean, the deeper you go to the ocean, the darker it gets. And so a lot of our feelings are very deep within. And so we'll see what spirit, what comes out in the tarot, never to expand on this, but just to acknowledge that we might be having some feelings right now. And what we don't know, let's find out how they can be messengers for us, perhaps. Alrighty, then we have the Work Your Light. Let's see how this pairs with the mermaids. And we have Pleiades. Ooh, double mission, channeling and uplifting and uplifting humanity. Now, the Pleiadians are, of course, light workers, just like me. I am from Mintaka, by the way. It's so incredible. Like, a lot of people ask me, they're like, well, how do you know, right? And it took me a long time, like, to like trust, right? To trust spirit, and to trust that when I feel something, like I didn't know I was Mintakan until like maybe a year and a half ago, right? Like, but I didn't even know what it was. And then I was exposed to it and I went, oh my gosh, home, right? Like, Mintaka is a water-based planet, and I live surrounded by water. I don't live in an island, but I live in a peninsula, and I'm going kayaking in that peninsula, in that bay later today. And I just know that that's home for me, like, it's so interesting. So if you are Pleiadian and you know it, please write that in the comments and let me know. If you're a light worker, let me know. And if you know where you're from, woo, I'd love to hear that too. That would be amazing. Okay. Like, it's so, when I discovered I was a light worker, my whole life made sense. Just like when I discovered I was a manifestor, my whole life made sense. It's like, oh my gosh. And then when we have this knowledge, then we can expand upon it, right? We can integrate it into ourselves and then be like, what's next, right? Like, what is next? Okay. So Pleiadians, double mission, channeling. So some of you have the ability to channel. I mean, we kind of all do, but a lot of people aren't really open to it. I'm really excited about other channels of communicating with spirit, coming through. Yes, I know, patience, and working, right? And actually doing that, right? They're also saying, bring it back to human design, but that's a really hard thing to do on the general. Yeah. So they're really, I explained that it's a general reading. So, I can't, anyways, we're okay. We're moving forward. All right. So, but uplifting humanity. So how do you feel about uplifting humanity and your role within it? Because we are all these little tiny drops of water of consciousness, right? When I was first learning and taking my baby steps towards trusting spirit the way that I can now, I needed certain things. And there was this wonderful metaphor with Dr. Wayne Dyer, who was important in my early stages, along with Eckhart Tolle and many, right? And he said, like, in like consciousness, like, we're all a drop of water, and again, water really means a lot to me, and it's like, and we go, and so we're basically all this drop of water that will eventually make its way back into the ocean, right? With the ocean being this, like, sea of consciousness that we're all collectively a part of. And so we all have this mission on earth, and depending on your human design, it tells you what it is, by the way, right? And mine is actually to use my enthusiasm and spiritual gifts to uplift the world. Like, that's literally what my human design says about me, which then was part of the permission slip that I had to, like, do this channel, right? And to, like, be like, oh, like, I will share this with the people who want to receive it. And that's part of me being a manifestor. I was able to, because my energy is divided up, like the people I'm supposed to be around, I'm a 4/6, by the way, which is very people focused. Like, my relationships are my currency. And so it's really interesting to go, oh, okay, like, how can I, we all have a job to uplift humanity, right? But a lot of people don't accept it, right? So a lot of people, like, don't even make a resume for it. So, thanks for being here and being one of those. Okay. So let's see. All day I've been doing situation obstacle advice, and yes, I'm going to keep doing that. And it's served very well in the other readings. This is my last one for the day, and then I get to go and prep for my sea journey. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so situation is the Three of Pentacles. Gorgeous. Okay, so we've got so threes are about growth. Pentacles are about resources, whether it's time, energy, money, possessions, all of these kinds of things. In the traditional Rider-Smith-Waite Tarot, we have, we're admiring some handicraft, right? And it is very much a teamwork makes the dream work kind of card. But I love this one because we've got, first we've got a beautiful naked woman, and then we have someone learning to draw, but we have somebody teaching. Okay, so the situation situation is that there is a mentor out there for you. This is what I'm getting right now, just from this individual card. We'll see how they all flow together. But there is a mentor that is here to help you in your next level of uplifting humanity and shifting some of those denser feelings that you might be having at this time. Okay, and then we have our obstacle. Oh, the King of Swords. Okay, I'll expand on this in a second. The King of Swords is about leadership, but also about your thoughts. Okay, so your thoughts this is very much a card of our mental plane. And sometimes we spend too much time here and I certainly used to and still kind of do, okay, get stuck in this, I already know what's best. Okay, that's what I'm getting from this because it is in our obstacle position. Okay, and the advice, hot damn, is the 10 of Cups, okay? So, I mean, beautiful piece of advice in terms of this kind of being very like emotionally fulfilled, of having this realization of your goals. Like, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful reading, okay? So, alrighty. And it goes perfectly. Okay, so let's talk about feelings, okay? So we have the 10 of Cups, which is the kind of penultimate happy family, happy life, happy, like there's a lot of happiness here. Now, but happiness just doesn't happen. It's actually something that we have to choose. Okay. So we have to choose to be happy. So like one of the things I do, so like, again, I'm a counselor in my regular life. And I love it because I'm able to help people transform their feelings. Even my kid, like he's 10 and we were walking our dog the other day and he said, Mom, he's like, I kind of have like a thought that rolls around. It's like on, it's on my, it's on, like, I keep kind of thinking about it. And I said, oh, he goes, but it's not a big deal. And I said, well, it kind of is a big deal because you brought it up. And I said, one of my jobs as like a therapist is to help people kind of like see things in a different way, right? It's like, how can you like kind of look at this in a different way? And I said, I'm not going to judge you. I said, it could be little, it could be big. I said, I won't tell anybody, kind of thing. Like unless I had to, which he's 10. So it was fine. And it turns out he was having like a little bit of a worrisome thought about some changes that have happened in our family lately. And I then was able to answer his question and kind of reframe it. And then afterwards he goes, I said, do you feel better? And he said, I do, Mom. He says, I really do. And then he's like, I said, I talked about the hamster wheel and stuff anyways. Like when we have a thought that won't stop, I always compare it to that hamster wheel and we need to get the GD hamster off the wheel, right? And so it's time. Okay, so what are you feeling that is interfering with you achieving the 10 of Cups? Okay, so with you achieving this kind of like really like fulfilled, happy kind of feeling, because this is the advice, right? The advice is to channel this. Now, I am a manifestor and I'm masterful at manifestation. And so, so it's like, so in order to get what you want, hopefully you want this because I don't know anybody who doesn't, is to go, okay, what's blocking me, but also aligning. Okay, so you need to align. You cannot manifest anything unless you align with the energy of it. And that is the hardest part. Okay, so it's like the basic formula is ask, believe, and receive. Okay, asking's easy, right? Okay, and then, but believing that you'll get it, that's harder. And then like giving up how it's your expectations around it, like giving up, like being like tied to an outcome, right? Being tied to an outcome is the fastest way to not get this, right? Because the universe, like we don't get to plan. The universe they'll be like, okay, but they only deal in energy. Energy is the currency of the universe. And so you have to change how you feel, which you can do. We're going to get a little CBT, a little cognitive behavioral therapy here, is like, you can't change your feelings unless you change your thoughts. All right. Woo-hoo! Bam, bada boom. Okay. So because the King of Swords thinks that he knows everything, okay, he's also a really good card in other positions, but here it's like, I already know everything. So, guess what? You don't. And none of us do. Okay. None of us do. So we have to change the way that we think in order to change the way that we feel, which will then change how we behave, which will then change how we think, which will, get it? Okay. So CBT is a cycle of this. So let's change what you're putting in your brain. Okay. Oh, how can we do that? How about we get a mentor? Now, mentors come in all of these different ways, shapes, and forms. It could legit be somebody on YouTube that you don't pay. It could be somebody at work asking someone, do you know somebody who has the job that you want? I mentor people all the time because people want my job. They have questions about how to become a counselor in the way that I have and what it's like and la, la, la. And I tell them all the things I love about my job and I tell them the path, right? Now, and I'm even asked to do this on a professional level, right? Opening up to it maybe again, just because I feel like I finally have the energetic space to mentor somebody else. Okay. But it's so like this is here for you. The situation is this is here for you, but you have to ask, right? Mentors don't just fall in your lap. You have to, guess what? Energetically open up to them and then reach out. Okay. But I mean, the result here is beautiful. The result is when you make these changes, you can be part or expand your part of what's happening in terms of ascension and uplifting reality, and maybe even open up some other channels, which is amazing. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up with a postcard from the universe. And let's see just what everybody needs to hear for these first 2 weeks of the summer. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Dear you, check in occasionally with yourself about your motives behind actions you plan on taking, especially when you have an end game in mind. End game. Interesting. Okay. I mean, it's important to have goals. I set them all the time. I even make a list every day of what I want to accomplish, and that's fine. But I'm also not tied to whether I make everything on my list. Okay. Is the source of your motivation desire, or is the source of your motivation desire or entitlement? Okay. Maybe you're drawn to a certain path because you think it will bring you a feeling related to the outcome that you seek, like safety or wholeness. God, I can't make this stuff up. Know that you will see a reflection in the outer world of the motive that drives you forward. Do you need a motive? Can you simply be pulled in the direction that your soul calls you? Calls you towards joy, discovery, growth, or adventure, participating in something compelling and meaningful without trying to define it. If you can step forward, surrendered to whatever spirit has in store for you, you will be amazed at how things turn out. Check your motives, then hand them over to spirit. Everybody here wants the best for you. Life loves you more than you know. Well, that tied up that with a nice little bow. Did it! Yay! Oh, the best thing about doing these readings today is that I knew it was time, and I knew that I would be able to be here for you. So Spirit and I would be able to team up to be here for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please, if you found value with this, like, subscribe, and again, share with our growing human design family. I cannot wait to see you again. I'll be back on the 15th. And in the meantime, just go out there and get it. And surrender. I know, hard to do at the same time, but believe me, it is possible. All right, bye.